Hello, everyone, and welcome to the program Business Point on Global Television. I am Samuel Odi. Many thanks for joining on today's edition of the program. Today, we'll be bringing you global business updates and the current price of crude oil and the current global inflation, which is being driven by high cost of food items. So, in the month of February, based on reports from federal food and agricultural data says that the global food update price has went up in the month of February. We'll be bringing you speed on that, and also we'll be talking about the current hike and dips that we're witnessing in the Nigerian All-Share Index, and as well as the dip in the Bitcoin, reflecting in Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency world. But now let's take it up from the current food prices that is up. Currently, global food price surged in the month of February. The high price of sugar, dairy, and vegetable oil price have led to the surge in global food price in the month of February, according to the Food and Agricultural Report recently released. The Food Price Index report, which tracks monthly change in international price of a set of global traded food commodities, averaged 127 points in the month of February, up by 1.6% from its value in the month of January 2025. While meat price index remains stable, all other price index rose, with the most significant increase recorded for sugar, dairy, and vegetable oils. The report also noted those angles. According to the FAO, the overall index for February was at 8.2%, higher than its corresponding level on year-on-year basis. However, it remained at 27.7% below the peak it reached in the month of March 2022. The average price of sugar was at 119 points in the period, rising by 7% from its January value. The price surge comes after 3 consecutive month declines in the month of October, November, and as well as December 2024, all of this respectively. So, the current global food price and hike that we are witnessing not just in Nigeria but that in the entire globe is majorly being driven by food items. And with the current trend that we're seeing, global food items have actually gone up based on dairy products, vegetable oil, and also other household items as well. But looking at the current situation here in Nigeria, based on the rebasing of the GDP that was done by the Central Bank of Nigeria and as well as the National Bureau of Statistics, it's beginning to show that food items are beginning to come down based on the report that has been released by the NBS. But we also will be making our research and we'll be getting you more updates on what the current price of food items are, given the fact that we're in the Ramadan season, and during festivities like this, cost of food items usually surges high, and the reports that we're getting from the Food and Agricultural Outpost making us know, or bringing us to the awareness that food items actually surged in the month of February, based on the global food inflation that is going on currently. But we'll still get you more reports as the week unfolds and as during this month of Ramadan on the current volatility of prices of food items in the market. So moving away from that, we'll be having conversations around the exchange rate volatility, talking about the Nigerian and dollar now as we speak. The Bureau de Change operators said government payments following the rise of dollar demand. Bureau de Change operators have attributed the recent crash of Naira in the foreign markets to the huge demand for forex due to the windfall from some contractual payments and release by some federal government agencies. This is coming after the recent strong performance of the Naira, with the local currency trading around 1,500 to a dollar at both the official and unofficial market as a result of policies of the Central Bank of Nigeria, as well as the policies initiated by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that's requires crude for naira basically in Nigeria. But still on this, the note of the Bureau de Change, the president noted that this unfortunate development has once again given Coronians to the need to regulate and to be consistent in the implementation of the reforms and policies in the versatile forex markets. The current price of naira to dollar, though the naira is beginning to rebound with a little bit above 0.34% to 1,530 naira. This was traded early hours of today, but as of today, this was traded yesterday. The dollar was traded at 1,530 naira as at the close of business yesterday. But opening today, the naira rebounded against the dollar by 0.34%, which is now being currently traded at 1,525 naira in the previous trading section. Historically, the Nigerian USD and Nigerian naira reached an all-time high of 1,717 naira per 50 kobo in the month of November 2024. But as we speak now, currently, naira is being traded at 1,525 naira against 1,530 naira, which it was traded in the previous market sections. So the Nigerian naira is expected to trade at 1,000. That's looking at the forecast. The Nigerian naira is expected to trade at 1,333 naira by the end of the quarter, according to the Trading and Economics Global Modern that analysis expectations looking forward with an estimate to trade at 1,588 naira by the end of the 12th month. That's talking about December now. So looking at all of this now, despite the fact that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu have said that naira is going to be stabilized at 1,500. Now, policies need to be in place, and we've witnessed those policies that were initiated and ignited by the Central Bank of Nigeria have actually helped. That's looking at coming from the month of October, November, December, January, and then we started noticing a dip. The naira started struggling from the second and third week of January, and then rebounded back in the first week of February, and now before the close of the end of February, we witnessed that the naira was able to rebound and it traded below 1,500 naira. It traded around 1,490 naira, both in the official and non-official market. But currently, we're witnessing a certain level of dip and a bearish trend in the market volatility based on the fact that the NNPC are making mention of the fact that the Crude for Naira initiative was only a projection or a contract that was signed for just 6 months. Now they are looking for ways to return to the status quo of demanding dollar to be able to make purchase of crude oil in Nigeria. So looking at all of this based on the fact that the crude is an international commodity, but to stabilize the Nigerian naira, Crude for Naira initiative is very, very key to actualizing all of this. But on the other hand, NNPC, the committee chairman on the Crude for Naira initiative still maintains his stance and he says the current Crude for Naira initiative is something that is also going to continue. So looking at all of this now, if it does continue, we would be expecting to see that the naira would bound more against the dollar in the open market and the parallel market. So looking at all of this currently now as we speak, we need all of these regulators and also regulatory bodies to come into place and then come into terms and make sure that, you know, whatever form of payment that is going to be done by government agencies should be done in naira, based on the fact that naira is a legal tender of Nigeria and is also going to help the Nigerian naira stabilize in the open market, based on one singular fact that the president is looking forward to stabilizing naira at 1,500, and having the naira stabilized at 1,500 and the rebasing of the Nigerian GDP, as well as the current tax reform policies that are becoming up, would help and aid the naira to be able to stabilize at 1,500. But we hope to see the naira rebound, and also the focus for the day shows that the naira is expected to be traded at most not exceeding 1,525 naira before the close of business today. This is what the market projection it's saying for today's naira and dollar equivalents. So let's move away from that. We'll look at the all share index, where the market gained by 0.08%. The Nigerian all share index experienced a modest increase of 83.31 points, closing at 106,621.91 points, signaling a positive start to the week. The uptick reflects a 0.08 rise from the previous day's close of 106,533.60, driven by a notable increase in the trade volume. Daily trade volume climbed to 364.9 million shares, marking a 4.52% rise from the 349.1 million shares traded at the end of Friday's trading section. Despite this slight gain, market capitalization remains steady at 66.7 trillion across 14,565 transactions, as the all-share index maintained its hold above 66 trillion mark. The market summary shows that the current ASI opens at 106,621.91 points. Previously, the ASI opened at 106,538.60 points. The day-to-day change is plus 0.08%, and the year-to-day change is at 3.59 points. Volume traded are 364.9 million shares. Market capitalization remained at 66.7 trillion. So market outlook going forward before the close of business today and ahead of the week. Looking ahead, the all-share index may be poised for correction following the bearish action of the previous week, which saw it drop below the 107,000 mark. If the market is not overbought, it could present opportunities for investors seeking to capitalize on lower entry prices. So a whole lot of investors are looking to get into the market at this lower price, based on the fact that last week the all-share index, the Nigerian stock market, suffered so much dip and had a bearish run last week. But this week it's starting up with a higher momentum. We saw the business week opening yesterday with a gain and a bullish run where it witnessed 0.08%. So this same trajectory is what is being expected to see and then to be carried out all through this week. So we expected to see the all-share index break its point of 106,000 to around 107,000 before the close of business this week. So this is the projection and the focus that we're looking at. But now, for investors who are looking on lower price entry, this is actually a very good step for investors to step into the all-share index and then to invest, because the projection for the week has showed a total form of a bullish trend, which is actually going to help investor and boost investor capacity based on the current business trend and innovations going on currently in the all-share index. So we'll be expecting to see and definitely bringing you updates on the current trajectory of the Nigerian all-share index as it unfolds on a daily basis. We'll be going on a quick break, and then when we return back, we'll be having a conversation where we've witnessed that Bitcoin has fallen below 77,000 US dollars. So stay with us, we'll be right back. Many thanks for staying with us. Now let's talk cryptocurrency, where the Bitcoin has fallen below 77,000 US dollars. Bitcoin has been crypto world has been going through a whole lot of bearish trend as of late, and based on the US tariff hikes that is coming up and all of that, it has been affecting the digital currency so badly. Well, let me bring you up to speed. The cryptocurrency market continues to face sharp declines, with its total market cap dropping by 2.44 trillion US dollars earlier today, the lowest since early November. Mind you, this fluctuate. There might be a change based on when this report is coming on. Bitcoin has fallen below 77,000 US dollars for the first time since November 2024, while other leading digital assets such as Ethereum have also tanked to multi-month lows, testing a bullish narrative for the cycle, a significant factor contributing to investor concern in the recent movement of Bitcoin from the MXT guards. The defense exchange that collapsed over a decade ago. The platform transferred 11,833 BTC valued at approximately $932 million, raising fresh concerns about the potential impact on the market stability. This development also triggered over $937 million in liquidation, with 24 hours increasing volatility across digital asset markets. Looking at all of this now, the US policies that is based on tariff hike is affecting the market negatively. We're also seeing the current US crypto summit that happened on the 7th of this month, just this past weekend. Also, based on what's happening there, we are seeing how the business, the currency is standing. Before the summit happened on Friday, we saw that Bitcoin was slacking below 80,000 naira, but when the announcement for the summit happened, we saw Bitcoin grew and then break a spike of breaking into 81,000, 80 to 81,000 US dollars as at the past weekend. But now, after the whole summit and based on the tariffs hike that is being introduced by President Donald Trump, affecting digital currency, the Trump coin is also dipping. So currently, Ethereum and Solana, every other high top earning digital currency is actually dipping. Now, for investors who are looking for a lower price cap to invest, this is also an avenue for that to happen in the world of the cryptocurrency. So looking at all of this basically is actually a win-win for some person and a lose for some person based on the market trajectory and how it's looking. But currently, for those looking to invest, this is actually a good time to invest in the digital currency, not just if you can afford to buy Bitcoin. There are all bunch of cryptocurrencies that are actually looking so well that one can invest in at this point based on the lower price cap that it is, and this gives more investors investor confidence, and this also helps to build the trajectory of those particular coins. So let's move away from digital currency. Let's talk about crude oil, where the price continues a downward spraying in the market chaos based on the Russia and Ukraine war going on. OPEC have made a whole lot of policies. A whole lot of policies have changed around the crude oil world. But now let me bring you up to speed with that. Oil markets have kicked off the new week on a back foot, with oil price and sell-off dipping amid a raft of the bearish catalyst. Brent crude oil for May delivery fell by 1.38% to trade at $69 per barrel on Monday, while WTI crude oil for April delivery declined by 1.37 to exchange hands at $66 per barrel. $66 per barrel. The oil price decline comes as a reversal after crude oil future rose sharply on Friday, but still finished with another week of losses thanks to OPEC's decision to go ahead with production increase starting in the month of April. Uncertainty over the US tariffs and bearish build in US crude stocks. Last week, the statement posted on OPEC's website revealed that Saudi Arabia, Russia, the United Arab Emirates, Iran, Kuwait, and Oman and Algeria will start unwinding a 2.2 million barrel per day cuts from April. The catalyst decision to add about 138,000 barrels per day in April appears to intend to appease the U.S. President Donald Trump, who has repeatedly called on OPEC to reduce the price of oil. So massive production of oil now is actually going to help the entire universe, the entire world, based on what Donald Trump has been saying, and also based on his tariff hike. The tariff hike basically is being focused on China and Canada. There is this trade war going on between US and China, and US and Canada, and as well as China. Always, you can have trade wars, mention trade wars with the US and not bring China in the mix. So that's the main reason why Donald Trump is focusing more on American defense, and also saying there should be increments in the production of crude, so as to help curb out challenges going on currently in the world globally. Like looking at Africa now, and looking at Nigeria as a key study, after the removal of fuel subsidy, automatically we saw how the fuel price surged. But of late, based on the massive production and then this initiative being created by OPEC, we're seeing that the prices of fuel is beginning to come down on a daily basis. We see, depending on where you're buying, fuel is currently being sold at 860 naira to 890 naira, depending on where you are purchasing your crude. And also the initiative created by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the CNG, which is also very affordable, and then it's being sold at 230 naira, depending on where you're buying. So it's also helping to curb out the current hike of living, cost of living, and cost of food items in the market, because this current surge is what is being attributed to the high cost of food items that we are witnessing, aside insecurity and other factors. So if fuel prices and crude prices get to dip, before now, a couple of months ago, we saw that the crude is being sold at $77 per barrel. Now it has dropped to around $69 per barrel. So with all of this now, and then massive production being introduced by OPEC, is actually going to help curb out the cost of price, and also the Crude for Naira initiative is also going to help boost Nigerian economy. So we're seeing a whole lot of initiatives being introduced, and we hope to see that the government and regulatory bodies carry all of these and see through all of them and make sure that the major concerns are being addressed. This is how much time will permit us to take on today's edition of Business Points. My name is Samuel Odi. Many thanks for listening. Bye for now.